All right, looks like we've got this is not really a crazy video or nothing crazy, and no big story or none of that stuff. I'm actually taking it easy today because I am working on a review right now. So in the interim between working on this review, I decided to take up this topic because it's Saturday and it's the end of the week, and I actually want to go over why I believe resting is very important. I know, right? Hot take, rest is important, but I'm taking this in the context of like, especially this week when I had an actual like break from a lot of stuff. It feels good to get a good rest, even though I've been sick the whole day, which was a lot of fun. Um, I've actually no, I got the rest that I needed regardless. But anyways, let's hop into it. And I'm saying this because when I like to reflect on myself sometimes, I don't know, I'm very harsh because especially where I want to be in life and where I am now, it's like, man, this is a long road. I gotta keep pushing, I gotta keep hustling, I gotta keep going, and go all the way to the top. You know, you want to bring out the most out of yourself, and then you realize that, and this is why you find that a lot of people tend to burn out from whatever it is. Sometimes it's from sports, making content, or job. Like, sometimes you really want to push yourself to that limit, and then you realize, well, I've been pushing myself, but I have not taken a single break since I've been started working, or since I started making content. And I know for me right now, now that I don't have many eyes on me right now, but I'm saying regardless, I've still been pushing as hard as I can. That's why this week, especially, I think I've had a video almost every single day compared to my other schedule. And because they say the formula to like success is, consistency and this and that, so I've been trying to be as consistent as possible. But in the whole time, I actually decided, well, you know what? Even though I'm going to try to do this every single day, I'm going to take a step back from a lot of other stuff. And so that's what I did. So I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. It's been on Do Not Disturb since Sunday. I have not seen, the only notifications that I've checked are the ones that are like super important, like stuff for like my job or like school, because I had those are very important. You don't want to miss those. And of course, like calls from family members or close friends. I've been present over there. But in terms of everything else, like social media, this and that, well, I do post sometimes on my Instagram stories. I've just said, you know what, I'm gonna take a step back, I'm gonna take it easy for the week. And I can say I feel so much better, just because also, while I am working in school and all this stuff and making videos, I feel like I'm constantly, not just busy, but I'm constantly just drained all the time. And keep in mind that while I do like doing this stuff, it's not like I'm forcing myself. It's still tiring. I still feel tired all the time. That's why sometimes I don't get enough sleep, because, well, sometimes I will do a whole combo of stuff in a single day. I'll make a video, I'll study for a test, and then I'll probably, I don't know, go to work in the same day. Well, if that sounds insane, that's because it is. Oh, and then top it off, I'll go to the gym at the end of the day, in the middle of the night, say at like 10 o'clock. I do all that. And then I get home, and then I sleep, and I wake up probably like 6 a.m. and do the same stuff all over again. And so this week I actually decided, like, yeah, why don't I just turn off the distractions? Start reading a bit more, and just take some time for yourself. And I gotta say, I highly recommend it for anyone who doesn't do that. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just take one day off in the week, and just, give it to yourself. Because why not? I also feel like, especially nowadays, in terms of the hustle culture that I have a lot of problems with, everyone will always tell you to just, you gotta hustle yourself out of the 9 to 5. You gotta get yourself out of here. You gotta do this and that. And I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that while some of us have very big aspirations and some of us can be very ambitious, not everybody has to do that. Not everybody can be the top CEO of this company and all that. Sometimes you just gotta compete on your own level. Not all of us gotta be, the Apple, but you could open up your little tech store if you want to, or you could open up your local bakery. There's nothing wrong with that, like, at all. And that's how you have to. That's what I've been trying to do lately. Just try to compete. I compete, but like I try to operate on my own level first, and then you keep pushing and get those big aspirations. Because me personally, it's not for everybody, but I wouldn't call myself ambitious, but I always want to achieve higher heights. I always want to push the limits, or push my limits. You know, push the record, go all the way to the top. Not like to the top, but like to the top of what I could do. So that's why you'll see me always, I'm always working on something, whether it's schoolwork, working on my channel, working on other stuff in life, trying to get other stuff started, you know, planning my future. Like, I'm always trying to do that. But amidst all that and like getting lost in the sauce, I also have to realize that, you know, life's not always about working to get to where you want to. Because sometimes you hear these stories where it's like, oh, I worked this hard to get to where I was. And, you know, it takes a lot of dedication and this and that. While that is true, you know what? I feel like we lose ourselves in the act of like balance. I feel like balance is extremely important. That's how you really like get to the longevity and you start to enjoy life more when you're balancing everything. Because as it is right now, I can tell you, like balance, especially for this week for me, I'm in a much better mood. I'm not really as cranky as usually I am, because sometimes at the end of the day I get very cranky or at least very dismissive of a lot of people, and I'm always just tired. And so you find that. And now this week, despite me being annoyed at some other stuff, I've actually been pretty like level-headed and not as grouchy, which is nice. I get to actually, you know, sit back and relax and do this. And I got also like put more time into like, you know, my channel, which I really enjoy making. Doesn't matter how many people show up, I'll always enjoy doing this kind of stuff, which is nice. Something else that I've also noticed is that during my like reprieve or like my rest week, I also noticed that despite everything that I want to do, and it's like sometimes you gotta take wins like in smaller steps, like not working your way to smaller steps. I'm saying like you even like successes, you have to take them in small strides. And I'm saying this because a lot of people want to, you know, especially people who get started, and I used to be one of these. So this is coming from somebody who's like, man, I gotta keep pushing, and then one day, you know, you'll hit the lucky break. You'll have lots of people with eyes on you, and then you'll be, you know, regarded as this person, and you can do all that. You're up, you're at the top. That's what you want. But at the end of the day, sometimes, you know, even in life in general, in order for you to like appreciate the smaller stuff, you have to always what's the word I'm looking for? You know, appreciate the small detours, I call it. So maybe you don't get the 1 million, but you know, if you get 1,000 people to watch you, that's pretty good, all things considered. You don't have to have everyone looking at you. Think about it this way: even if you get like one person to listen to you, that's pretty good. You know?
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
And so that's really what I've come to realize. Because even though you have these desires and you want to push yourself and you want this and that, sometimes, you know, you got to look at the smaller stuff. Like, for example, say you want to lose weight and you have, and you're, I don't know, you're like 250 pounds and you've only lost like 20 pounds. Now, realistically, you say, oh, I want to be like 190, but I've barely started. But when you look at it, you lost 20 pounds in however amount of time. That's pretty good. And you were consistently going. That's where it matters. And that's why consistency is always important, no matter what time of the year it is. And so, what does this video have to do with anything, you may ask? Well, no, sometimes you just gotta let loose and take a break. You know, relax. Instead of covering, you know, heavy stuff or like going into like reacting to some crazy videos, you gotta sit back, relax, and enjoy the little detours in life. In my opinion, anyway. And that's kind of what I'm gonna do going forward. So, that being said, I don't have much else on this topic. It was just something really quick that I wanted to go over. And, you know, actually, there's always one more thing I'm going to mention, actually. And it's that while resting, you can actually get a lot of improvement from resting. I was going to end off the video, but I actually want to circle back a bit and say that, believe it or not, when you can actually, because sometimes you'll be in the moment and you think that, okay, well, I could do better, or I'm at my peak right now, or maybe I don't have to do too much, or man, I'm not doing enough. And then sometimes you sit back and you rest and you're like, wait a second, I have been doing pretty good, or I'm actually not as bad as I thought I was. Believe it or not, that's really what happens from time to time. You're just like, okay, well, you know, I can't lift this much, or I haven't had this many views, or I haven't had, you know, this much success in my work life, or maybe I didn't get that promotion. But it's kind of like, well, you took the initiative to get started, and that's commendable. That's how you have to see it. So I'm saying in my own life, I'm saying I have to also start doing that a lot more. I try my best to do it all the time because I try not to always be too down, but goodness gracious. I mean, you'll get those days where you're just like, man, I cannot do a single thing right, or I cannot, this is not going to work. Why am I doing this? Why am I pushing myself this hard? And then sometimes you don't realize your results, or your results, people noticed it. Like, people notice, but you don't. That's the one that will always like wake me up when people see like, oh wait, you've actually been doing pretty well for yourself. And I'm like, really? I don't see it. But it's like, oh yeah, other people do. Because sometimes you have a bias against yourself or for yourself, whatever it is. For me, it's against. But some people, it's called an ego, have it for themselves. It's like, man, you know, you've gotten a lot. You know, you look a lot better now. You look like you've been living life. You've grown up. And it's like, you know what? That's something that's always going to be appreciated. Like, no matter what kind of day it is. And so, all that, now we're going to wrap this up. And say, yeah, no, really, take a rest day if you can. I know some people have some crazy work schedules, but hey, I would say negotiate, you know, some time off for yourself. And I know them bills got to be paid, so, you know, not entirely an option, but, you know, where there's a will, there's a way. So I've heard. And that's it. So I think going forward, despite how consistent I want to be and how much I'm going to push, especially something like this channel, I think I'm going to start taking a bit more rest. And, you know, because regardless of, even if I post like 3 videos a week, that's like 8 hours of work. Sometimes, depending on what it is. If it's something like this where I don't need a lot of time, this is pretty easy. This will probably take me about, not too long actually. I'm not even going to put a time on it. But regardless, you know, take a break, guys. It's not a bad thing to take a break. Despite what the world tells you, take a break. Yeah, we all deserve one to an extent. Of course, don't take too many because that's what you call laziness. But yeah, take it easy, guys. And with that, I should start taking my own advice and wrap this up. Unless this is going to turn into like a 20-minute spiel video about making a rest. And I'm not doing it. So, if you like this type of content or these type of discussions, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you want to. And follow my socials down in the description below. Because we are trying to get that Instagram going. Got a network. I'm kidding. We're gonna rest. Anyways, hope you guys enjoy this one, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.